On Wednesday, we've got the Juddmonte International, which is a race I'm super, super excited about. Barney Roy, potentially Ulysses, who's been second in the King George since, and Churchill, of course. Now he's been redirected this way. Paddy, do you have any betting for the Juddmonte International?
We sure do, and this does look an absolute cracker. Let's hope they all show up. But so Barney Roy's 3-1 favourite. Then you got Churchill and Ulysses, both 7-2, 7-1 Highland Reel, 9-1 Winter, and 14-1 each at Cliffs of Moher, Shutter Speed, and Nezwa. So I would be a Churchill fan in this. I think Step Up and Trip's going to really suit. Yeah, I'm going to forgive him Royal Ascot, and I just think that this could be again another one of the 27,000 horses that are stepping up for a mile to 10 furlongs. I think Churchill is going to be one that'll really appreciate the Step Up and Trip, and I think it might just make a man of him.
I see you're arguing there, but I'm a massive Barney Roy fan. I think he was wicked in the Eclipse. He pulled so hard and then he fought back, and I think this is his trip, this is his race. Tom, do you agree with me or Paddy? Or?
No, I think York's the track for him. I think he hasn't had a race run to suit him yet this season, Barney Roy. I think they cannot believe they're not using pace. They need to get him going. He never gets going, does he, until they well past the line.
Stick Toscanini in there.
Yeah, need to get some. I do think Ulysses is an underrated horse, though. Yeah. I really do. I mean, I'd love to see him against Ribchester at a mile. That's how well he travels. I think he'd be a fantastic miler too, but I do think he's underrated. He was cantered all over them, didn't he, in the Eclipse? He was cantering again before he got outstayed by Enable. And I think I'm not sure York's going to be his track, to be honest. And I think Barney Roy will beat him there, but I do think he might be underrated in the market. I personally can't have Churchill. No.
Okay.
I don't think he's for me anymore.
Breeders' Cup for Ulysses later in the season? An anti-post for
you? Well, no, I'd like to, as I say, I'm trying to work on them to get him to run him in the QE2 at Ascot over a mile, see what he could do. Look, he's by Galileo out of an Oaks winner. If he could win a Group 1 over a mile, what a stallion. He's a great stallion prospect anyway. But, I think he's got the pace to be competitive in that race. He could do both. Why not give him a crack at that and then go to the Breeders' Cup?
Why not, indeed? So Churchill for Paddy, Barney Roy for Tom. Who for you, Lee?
Like Tom, I'm a huge fan of Ulysses. I thought the way he travelled into the Eclipse, Mark Tomato was absolutely a top performer. He was cruising going around the bend again in the King George before the Wonder Filly went away on ground that wouldn't have suited Ulysses and probably stretched him in those sort of conditions. Like Tom, I'm just not sure the long home straight at York would necessarily be in his favour, because he does have to be produced just at the right time. Or it seems he has to be produced just at the right time. He travels all into his races. And the way Alan Cooper, the racing manager for the Niarchos family, was talking today, I wouldn't necessarily be convinced he'll go to York. They've got Leopardstown as well as another obvious option not too far down the line. If Ulysses didn't go, I would be much keener on Barney Roy than Churchill. I think Churchill has something to prove. And even when winning the 2 Guineas, he looked like a very good horse, but I didn't think he looked like an exceptional racehorse. I think ability-wise, Barney Roy just might be more talented.
Okay, so that's the Juddmonte International all wrapped up for you there. What about the Great Voltager? Again, there's loads of horses in this. Capri, Crystal Ocean, Defoe, Cracksman, who I believe it'll be his last run of the season. Betting, Paddy, have we got any luck with that?
Well, I mean, Cracksman's confirmed, isn't he? I mean, he's about the only one, so he's favourite 7-4. Which might turn out to be a decent price. Capri and Crystal Ocean and Mirage Dance are all 8-1. Then 10-1 each Defoe, Ben Battle and Douglas MacArthur, and 14-1 Bar. So, yeah, I think Cracksman is pretty solid. Capri probably won't run. He's probably able to give Cracksman £5, isn't that right, after the Irish Derby?
So he has got a penalty.
Yeah, so might be inclined not to run Capri. And then I think Mirage Dancer and Defoe, if Defoe turns up here, both of them are interesting, aren't they, as improving horses, and they could be ones to step up and put their name on in lights. But I think Cracksman's going to be pretty hard to beat. He's probably going to go off a bit shorter than 7-4, I imagine.
He's the sort of class horse in the race, isn't he? But do you think something can improve past him, Tom?
Well, they're not brilliant, are they? The 3-year-old colts, staying colts, are they? The 1.5 mile horses. They all beat each other every time. It seems to, another one comes out and throws his hat in the ring. I'm a Crystal Ocean fan. I think he's probably the best of them at the moment. I don't think he's not going to run, is he? No. I think they said he was going straight to the Ledger, if at all. Interesting to see who Aidan runs. I think they might run Capri, because I don't know where else they're going to run him. Unless they run him on Saturday if he's a St. Leger horse, or if they're going to run him in a St. Leger, he's got to run somewhere, I presume, since afterwards. I think Aidan's run a few. He likes using this as his Ledger trial.
Idaho won it last year, didn't he?
Yeah.
Idaho won it, Milan. I think a few of them have won it over the years. Whether he runs under a penalty, I don't know. And as I say, there's that horse Belgravia. He's got loads in there that he could run. I wouldn't be surprised if he ran. Any of the others in there? I think Raheen House, I don't think he's going, but he's going to the St. Ledger. And the other Aidan horse I was quite interested in was a horse called Spanish Steps, who won at Leopardstown in the week, I think. I think he beat the older horse. He beat Johannes Vermeer at Leopardstown over 1.5 miles. I think he's getting better. He's one of those Aidan horses that's had about 20 runs, and suddenly he looks quite good after not looking so good before. But I think he's the type of horse that could run well in a Voltigeur, yeah.
Well, interestingly, I was looking at the Ebor and I saw him in that, so maybe we'll give him a little mention later on.
Never get in though, will he, Maddie?
Probably not, but
never get in. You have to be rated about 120 of a 3-year-old to get in there these days.
You said it there, he could, if he puts up another good display somewhere, then he could be interesting.
No, because the weights are already out, so it's difficult for him to get to get in there. I mean, he's got a penalty already for that win, but he's still, I think, quite way down the weights because I had a look at that race this very morning in preparation for this.
You are more prepared than me in this instance. Lee, what about the Great Voltigeur?
Yeah, well, Aidan was talking, I think, in this, in recent days, whether it might have been that Leopardstown deal or the Curve of the weekend. He named 3 horses: Capri, Venice Beach, and Spanish Steps as horses in the mix for the Great Voltigeur. Like Tom, I wouldn't be at all surprised to see Capri go there. Yes, he would have to give £5 to Cracksman, but it's a Group 2. It's not a Group 1. It's a race that's taking him to a target as opposed to the target in itself. So I could see Capri going there. I think York and Donny would suit him really well. Mirage Dance will be interesting if he ran in the race. He was running on the end of the Hampton Court at Royal Ascot. So I think he'd be interesting if he ran in it. But if it was just Capri versus Cracksman, even giving £5 to Cracksman, I think I'd be inclined to go with Capri. And historical fans of 1970s jumping will be backing Spanish Steps because he was placed in the Grand National in 1975.
Maddie, you can't
not
the
same one.
Hey, we all know I'm a big National Hunt fan. I watch my replays, all right? I know
girl.
Spanish
Well
Steps.
Well done.
I know Spanish Steps. Moving on to the Yorkshire Oaks now on the Thursday. Paddy, we've got all sorts of good horses in here. Enable, I don't know if she'll go now. I think she's been given a break. Endless Time, Maury, Winter, Wahida. Where are we with the betting?
Well, look, if Enable doesn't go, it makes it throws everything up in the air because she's 1-3 and she looks an absolute penalty kick if she does turn up. Rhododendron 6-1, 10-1, Queen's Trust 12-1 each. The Black Princess, Winter, Abingdon, Mari, Zakova 14-1, Somidar, Coronet. I mean, look, Neeswell. If Enable doesn't go, just rip it up and start again, and maybe Rhododendron's a short price favourite then, but you wouldn't be getting stuck in, I don't think.
Okay, so no sort of massive eye-catcher down the bottom of the betting if Enable doesn't go for you?
No, I think if Enable turns up, she wins, obviously, and apart from that, I think it's just have to relook again.
Okay, Tom, Enable, your favourite filly. Do we think she's going to go or not if she's having sort of a later autumn
race
campaign?
for her, isn't it?
It is, but I'm not sure if
we said the same about Tagruda, though, didn't we? Do you remember Tagruda, Paddy?
Yeah,
when
she got beat
after winning. Yeah, she got beat at 10s on by one of Aidan's. Look,
Tapestry, was that?
It was. Yeah. It was. Yeah. I think if she runs, she wins. I think the interesting filly at the prices there was Roger Varian's Nessoir. Really, she won the Pretty Polly. Really, really, really impressively. It was very easy. It's filly she beat, Rain Goddess, isn't in Enable's class, but she was second to Enable in the Irish Oaks, so she wasn't.
She didn't do anything out in Arlington, though, did she?
Yeah, that was a funny race out
Can't
there.
have been no running.
Yeah, that wasn't no running. I think she's a really good filly. I don't know if this is the plan. She's never run over 1.5 miles, as far as I can tell. I think it would suit her, judging by the way she finished off at Goodwood, Curragh, when she won the Pretty Polly. She obviously missed Goodwood because of the rain. I think she's a very good filly that could finish second if Enable turns up, and if she doesn't, she might win.
Nicely done. Lee, Yorkshire Oaks for you?
Yeah, just hope that Enable goes. Certainly the way Connections were talking after the King George was that they were very much minded to go for the Yorkshire Oaks. Of course,
it was always the plan, wasn't it? I didn't know if they changed their mind after the King George.
There was no suggestion that there was. In fact, Teddy Grimthorpe, who's a racing manager to Prince Khalid, and he's also the chairman of York Racecourse, had a nice line where he said something along the lines of, well, that should just tear up nicely for the Yorkshire Oaks. And yeah, listen, it'd be great if she runs. You know, I think outside of Royal Ascot, this for me is by far and away the best summer flat festival, or the best flat festival outside of Royal Ascot, full stop. It's a wonderful race course. They do things in the right way. Great value for money for customers. Food and drink's fantastic. It's a great city as well. Love York, and I would love to see an Ebor in there. And yeah, Tagruda did get turned over in the race, but that could happen to any horse.
I think she was in season as well, so it wasn't like she ran on merit.
Yeah, I hope she runs there, and it would just look an obvious way of going en route to Shanty. They can give her a bit of a break after that, then, and just tee her up for the Arc.
Lee,
Okay.
I have to say, Lee, you're full of the love today, just for everyone generally. Like, you really are in great form. You obviously had a really good weekend, and it's
He's
really
just doing
nice
it for
to.
us.
No,
I can
you
feel
have
it emanating
you've lost
through
your
you.
privileges at the Curragh. You've lost your privileges at Goodwood.
But York love me. York love me.
But yeah.
And the hedgehog fraternity love me
William
as well.
Darby's inviting you round for tea.
I love York.
Right, guys, we're going to get a wriggle on because we've not got much time left, so we're just going to quickly touch on the Nunthorpe and the Ebor. Nunthorpe first off, Lady Aurelia and Batash. It's between those two, isn't it, Paddy?
This is the race of the week, I think, isn't it? The Nunthorpe again. But yeah, Lady Aurelia's favourite 6-4, Batash 2-1. And then there's actually a gap of two empty spaces below, because as there should be. And then you got Marsha 10-1, 12-1. Profitable 14-1 Muthmere, and who cares about the rest. Lady Aurelia, I think Batash for me, just showing the versatility. Lady Aurelia needs to prove she can do it away from Ascot, and just Batash with the ground versatility and all that kind of thing. I think Batash at 2-1 I'd be preferring just at this stage.
He's a machine, isn't he, Tom?
Yeah, he's lovely, but this is where I lose my dinner reservation with William Darby at York. I don't back any horse at a short price at York, never, ever, because I think it's a really is a good track for course specialists. Neither of them have, I'm not even sure, I don't think either of them have ever run there. So I wouldn't want to be taking very short prices about any horse, however good. We've just mentioned Tagruda, 1-10, 10-1 unbeaten there. It's not, if the ground's fast, no problem. If there's any rain and it gets a bit shifty underfoot, I think it's a track for upsets. I'll be looking at a course specialist somewhere else that hasn't got the form yet, but it's York. And we've seen time and time again in this race, and in, Paddy's horse won at 100-1. Now he turned out to be the bet of all time at 100-1, but Dwala won at 40-1. We've had upset after upset in races at York over the years when the ground gets a bit funny. So I wouldn't be backing either of them at the price. Finding one to beat them at this stage, finding the one that I would be on, is a different question. But no, not for me either of them at the prices.
Okay, Lee, Lady Aurelia, Batash, other.
Fantastic race, and I could say of the others, I could see Marsha running well. She's got a York win to her name. She didn't run bad at Goodwood. On her best form, she's really smart. But yeah, it's a fantastic race to watch. And another example of the invigoration the sprinting scene has seen, because it's good to see two horses dominating the market at short prices, because in the old days you'd have had at this stage maybe a 6-1 the field Nunthorpe, which suggests a competitive race but no superstars. We got superstars now. That's good.
Yeah, Lee's still feeling the love. We're going to move on to the Ebor really quickly now on the Saturday. Paddy, who's favourite at this stage? I don't think a favourite's won since Purple Moon in 2007.
Yeah, well, it's like Tom just alluded to there a minute ago. Like, I mean, there's going to be about £2 between the top weight and bottom weight. But Fly Me to the Stars is just favourite 7-1, and you got 14-1 Wild Hack, 16 each of Desert Skyline, Ivan Grosley, Kid Me Never, Dal Harold, 20-1 Bar, whatever. Like, it's a really open race, as the betting would suggest. Dal Harold maybe for me, just because carrying top weight or near enough top weight won't really matter, because it's so compressed. The weight band is so narrow that you probably do need you definitely need a class horse to win it, and you're not going to be giving away too much weight regardless.
Wonderful. Okay, Tom, now you've educated me on the Ebor and Spanish steps. Take it away.
I'm just looking down now, Maddie. I think it's 55. So look, if it all comes across
Wait,
about 55 with his penalty, he might get in, but it's very unlikely. I think it's 20 runs run. I like one in this. I like a horse called Kid Me Never for Charlie Appleby. He was second to Sparkplug in a listed race at Sandown in July, and the form has worked out really well. Frankus was in there. Fanciful Angel, who went on to run so well in the Arlington Million, was there. Jakes Hill was in there, who wasn't beaten far in the Gordon Stakes the other day. He's not gone up in the weights. He's got solid form over this trip. I think he's crying out for this trip. He ran well at Royal Ascot. It's just the type of horse that Godolphin, they've got a good record at York in handicaps. It's the type of horse that will run well. So I've had a few quid each way on Kid Me Never at a big price.
Nicely done. Lee, as quick as you
That's
can.
interesting. Quick as you can. Dal Harold, I'd agree with Paddy.
Wicked. Anti-post naps for York. I'm going back to you.
I'd say Dal Harold. William Haggis loves York. Wouldn't be at all surprised if the horse ran in the race. And yeah, I think Dal Harold with one possible eye towards the Melbourne Cup as well.
Okay, wonderful. Tom?
Well, it's the only race I've really had a good look at is the Ebor, so I'll have to be Kid Me Never.
Okay, big price that. Paddy, what about you?
Just to annoy the two lads, I'm going to go for Churchill in the judgment.
Hooray!